Okay, so now for a bit of a look at the raised beds. Oh, looks like yeah, we won't miss that. Pete the horse left us a bit of a present. He must have been running around yesterday. Put that in there. I know some plants that might appreciate that. Yeah, so sorry about that little interruption. Bit of a look at these raised beds again. Look, it's absolutely blown my mind how popular these have been. And you know, I said at the time when I did that first video on them, you know, what I love about these is, you know, you can put a number of these in virtually any backyard, and you know, they're just fantastic. They look good, and they're just such a great way to get a bit of easy production going. And even if you don't grow a lot, everything you grow yourself, you just know where it comes from. You know all the goodies in it. I mean, you know, that lettuce you pick yourself, I mean, could have 100 times the nutrients of the one you buy in the shop. So how do you ever put a value on that? And that's what's just awesome about growing your own food. And these things just absolutely typify how easy you can do it. And you know, these days there's so many raised beds available that you can even just buy if you don't want to go to you know, to the effort of making them yourself. But anyway, enough of that philosophical stuff. Let's have a look at what's going on in here. So this first one still got the sweet potatoes, and you can see they're just starting to come through again. They kind of, we eat them from probably about March, April, right through winter. And then last year we probably would have picked about 4 of these bucketfuls just out of this one patch. So you know, it's amazing. And we wouldn't buy sweet potatoes for probably 6 months, which is awesome. And the funny thing too is, because we tend to eat them then, we actually don't eat a lot of them the rest of the year. And again, that's one of the really good things about growing food, is it actually makes you eat a bit in the seasons. So Pete's little present before, we might just scratch that in here and there, because these guys aren't going to complain about a bit of extra lift. So that's that bed. Next bed across, I topped this up with a bit of scrapings out of the duck pen, and just to eat some of the nutrient up, I grew a quick crop of broccoli in here. So there's the remnants of that broccoli. We'll pull that out in a minute and put some carrots in. And this other plant at the front, this is called yacon, and I think from memory it comes from Peru. It's one of those kind of fairly ancient plants. I think it's related to the Jerusalem artichoke. So it grows a ground tuber, has a fairly prolific green top. You can see here it actually didn't enjoy the 39-degree day yesterday, but that'll just die back and grow again. And under the ground is quite a large tuber, and that tuber produces a sweet product that apparently they use as a bit of an alternative for sugar, because like the Jerusalem artichoke, it doesn't particularly break down in your system, so it actually doesn't have a lot of calorific, I think that's the term, that's an awfully big word, isn't it? I think it doesn't have a lot of calorific value. So yeah, anyway, I got one of them from a friend, and I just threw it in to see what's happening, and yeah, well, look at that, there you go. So this last bed, this has just got some red onions in it. I'm kind of a little bit spasmodic with growing things like onions. We don't use heaps of them, but it is nice just to have a few homegrown ones, and certainly that crop there, if I dry them properly and store them properly, that'll keep us in onions for the year. Just before I jump back and we look at this middle patch, we might just have a look down the front here. Now this is my asparagus bed. These have been going for a number of years. I actually moved them about 6 years ago, so there was a fair bit of I lost a few of them in the move, but they're starting to come good again now. And you can see, I'll just I'll just try and point out. You can see there, just hold that back. You can see that's one coming up. Now that probably started coming out of the ground about a day and a half ago. That's how quickly they grow. They grow about 4 inches a day, and they then turn into something that looks a bit more like that. So ideally you would pick that when that's about that tall. So another, probably by tomorrow afternoon, that'll be pickable, and you literally just snap them off at the ground. I normally then snap the bottom stalk off, but if you don't get there and pick them soon enough, then they turn into a fern. And you can see there, each of those little lips on the asparagus turn into eventually a frond, and then long term they end up as a fern. So if you don't get to pick them, you end up with this fern growing. Now these crop, I mean, these are my indicator for when I know spring's coming. Normally about second week of August, the asparagus start popping up through the ground, and we would pick probably about a shop bunch. So that's a bunch about that round. We'd pick that every 1 to 2 days from August to probably, we're normally sick of them by about late November, December, and we tend to just let them go then. So you know, they're another fantastic crop. I mean, the fern isn't ugly. You can grow them just in a domestic garden as a backdrop to something, and here you get all this again beautiful food that you've grown yourself, which is, you know, I mean, it's just it's easily done. I suppose you do need a bit of space. I don't know how they'd go in a pot on a balcony, but you know, you can always have a crack at it, I suppose, can't you? Anyway, back up here. Let's just have a look at this bed. Maybe best if you come up around this side, Greg, because I'll pull that back a bit, and I'll jump round here. Can you see okay there? I'm just going to pull all this out and plant stuff in here. Actually, might be best if you come in a bit. Okay, so we're just going to have a bit of a look in here today, and like I said, there's some broccoli here that I grew just to use up some of the nitrogen out of this this new soil I put in, and I'm just going to there's a couple of good little you can see there's a couple of good little side shoots there. I'll pick them. Won't give those ones to the girls. So I'll chuck them over there, and these other ones, these will go up to over to the girls for their greens for the day. Oh, another couple of onions here that just came up as ferals, so I left them there. You can see they're starting to get a little bit of a bulb on the bottom, which is all good. Okay, so we'll clean all this out. Okay, so what I'm going to pop in here today is just a couple of rows of carrots. Now, carrots are, that's a weed that I don't particularly like, so that can go as well. I'll just sort through. I normally just, when you're in, and you can see this this beautiful now fine soil that's had some of the nutrients used up by the broccoli. So broccoli are from the brassicas family, and they like a lot of nitrogen, so it's a good idea to put them through first, because with your root crops, and especially carrots, they don't particularly like a lot of nitrogen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a couple of rows across here, and so first thing I'm doing is just breaking up things like that rock, they can go to the side. Anything a bit large, just break that up with my hands, just to get a fairly fine structure to the soil there. Because the carrots are quite a small seed and they don't get planted particularly deep, you need the soil to be fairly finely tilled. Now, a couple of different methods I'm just going to show you for planting these. First one, sometimes an easy way to do it is just get a bit of wood or something like that and just create a bit of a flat patch. So two real easy ways to get the carrot seeds in. And so they are quite a fine seed. So if you don't have anything else, then what I suggest is just put a few in the palm of your hand. And now I don't know whether you can see that, but that's probably, I mean, there's probably 400 or 500 seeds there. And I just grab a couple and just sprinkle them along. All right, now the other way is you can grab, I've just preset this up, you can grab a bit of sand and throw the carrot seed in the sand in a jar or something like that, put it back on, mix it up, and what I'll do is just create another little flat spot there. You might even, what we'll do is we'll just spread a little bit of that light soil back over those other seeds, and then just basically pour it out, seeds and sand along where you want that row to grow. Now with the sand, there's probably not a lot of point covering it up. One good thing is you can always see where you planted them. Here you're never too sure till they come up. Now, so what I do then is just give, oh, there's a little worm. There you go over there and do your job. Excuse me, just water that in. Now, I try and actually get a bit of moisture into the surrounding ground too, because what I'll show you in a tick is how I try and keep the seed moist. Now look, in a perfect world, where you had heaps of time, what you would do is just try and keep that ground moist but not wet. And that's easier said than done, especially when you have hot weather. I mean, if you knew it was coming, the perfect time to plant carrot seed is just before you're going to have a week of really nice light rain. But that doesn't always happen, as we're all aware. So this is another way that I've found quite successful to just keep that moisture around there without them getting over wet. And that is just grab a bit of, I normally use clear plastic, just lay it over the top. And what this does is I make sure they're completely covered with that, and then I just weight it down. And what this does is this actually kind of sweats, and it keeps that seed moist without being overly wet. Now I'd normally give that about a week and just pull the corner up and see how things are going. And as soon as you see those seeds starting to sprout, obviously you can't keep it like that forever because you'll suffocate them. But as soon as you see those seeds starting to sprout, you can pull the plastic off. You still need to keep a little bit of diligence watering then, again, especially if you're coming into hot weather, to keep them moist, but that's a good way to get your seeds going. So yeah, so that's the raised beds. It's it's a good couple of years these have been going now, and like I said before, these are just fantastic. If you do get an opportunity, build yourself a set or buy a set. Look, there's so many different things you can use, but just, yeah, one way or another, just start growing something because it's awesome.